Happy Monday. Happy Monday. What's going on there, Chris Machete? What's happening over there, man?
Hey, buddy. I'm just hanging out, watching a little bit of the Leaf game.
Hold
Gonna be on.
on. Let's just go right to it. Here we go.
Do it.
Stand by.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that
Nice.
very award-winning segment, Nerds on Ice. What do you got, Chris? Give us the
I love
rundown.
it.
Give us the score. What's going on right now?
Well, grab some Wonder Bread, my friend, because I'm spreading the news. So the Leafs so far this year, man. So they suck. They are not playing well at all. I know I called Johnny Tavares to leading goals or leading points, but
Leading points. Yep.
he just had a great shift, which is awesome. But I don't think, I think if you're going to point the fingers at anybody, you got to look at Fancy Pants there, Mitch Marner. The guy's just been an epic fail this year. And basically in the playoffs, he's an epic fail when the pressure's on, when he really needs to earn that $10 million that he had to have. He just seems to choke. And I know what you're saying. You're saying, Chris, I heard you played hockey when you were a kid. You weren't amazing like Wayne Gretzky. No, but I'll tell you what, if you get me a time machine and give me $10 million a year, I will figure out how to play and make the NHL. Oh, but Mitch Marner.
You know what they call him out here? You know what they call him out here?
What?
That's what they call him out here.
What do you mean? The cat's attacking me. I'm getting attacked by a cat. Is that what they call me?
They call him.
Oh, that's what they call Mitch Marner. Yeah.
Whitey pants. They call him Whitey pants out here.
I was the biggest fan of Mitch Marner until he did that whole, asked for all that money, which he had a really good opportunity to be a rad guy. And the guys just drop $1 million. Is it really that big of a deal?
Yeah.
I don't think it's that hard of a deal when you're making that much money. I guess you lose sight of things though when you're raised that way, right? Like, so I was mentioning about Bunting, how he had he had to work for things a little more when he was younger, and it shows on his on ice ethic. And that's just something us old schoolers, I'm always going to stick by that. If you're going to work hard during your life, it's going to show when you eventually get paid. And I think that Mitch is missing a little bit of that hard work. He's a little scared right now. But he looks like he's figure skating. Like honestly.
Well, I don't know. I mean, people are trying to blame it on coaching and stuff like that, but what's really going on there?
I think the coaching has a big deal to do with it, because I think the guys in their early 20s are leading the team that are making all the money. And I think their coach is just a buddy. You know what I mean? Like, I think they need somebody older in there who's actually done something.
Bring back Mike Babcock, huh?
No, don't bring back Mike. Please don't bring back Mike Babcock. Isn't like Bruce Boudreau available?
These guys wouldn't perform under him. This guy, he's like a big cranky pants. I don't know.
But that's what I mean. That's what they need, is somebody. But he can do it proper. Like, he handled Ovechkin. Up to a point there, I guess, but I don't know. I think the coaching staff is too buddies with everybody. I think it's a big.
But they just got up. Thing. They just got up. So I don't. They just got up. I think you're going to see trades before you're going to see a coaching change.
So you will, because they just signed him, and plus, what's his name there? Harry Potter, Dubas. him and Keefe are best buddies, right? They came up through the system together. So no, that's not.
Well, they're both going to go then, aren't they? They're both going to go. They're both going to get canned then.
I think so. I think Harry Potter's made some really, really bad moves, starting with Nylander. I think. Hi, Lonnie. I don't know if anyone can see that.
I saw the chats working. We heard rumblings. I heard rumblings that the Restream chat was down and that it was going to have a hard time communicating with people today. But we see you, Lonnie. Hello, Lonnie. And anybody else that has a question today, we will get to that as we go through. We got a big show today.
Yeah, we're going to
our Halloween specials. We're coming up on Chris and I's 1-year birthday here on this thing, and we're going to talk scary movies and retro video games with a friend of mine named Matt Hefe, who plays with Trivium. Great guy. Toured with this summer with Lamb of God and Megadeth, and that was a blast with those guys in Hatebreed. So he agreed to come on and have a little chat today and talk retro video games, horror movies, and their brand new album.
That cover of that album is stellar.
Yeah, which you'll see here in a minute.
Cover,
so lots to get through then. Plus, we got a bunch of guys and girls from the Dean Blundell Network coming on to give us their favorite horror movies, including Ryan Lindley and his wife Ashley from the Sheeple Shepherd podcast. I believe we're going to get Bonzi, and we're actually going to throw to Bonzi old school
WKRP
TV land.
style.
Coming up next. Yeah, we got that. We also
coming
got
up next on the network.
some voicemail to get through. So some people have left us some voice messages, which is awesome. I believe we're also going to get Brad Hopper from the Offload Delay podcast, brand new podcast on the network. So, hey, lots of people weighing in on their horror stuff, plus lots of fun to talk about for next week as well.
Full show, man. Let's get some heavy metal into the mix here. What do you say? Let's get some metal going here.
Okay, so we're gonna welcome Matt to the equation here. Everybody, hang out, have yourself a very good time. Enjoy this chat that we're gonna have here with Matt. It's pretty damn awesome, and he's a great guy for coming on.
It's great to have him on the show. We're pretty stoked here, man. Great band.
That's awesome. Stand by, Matt. Here we go. Rock on. Fancy little intro for a Monday night live from Machete Comics, where Chris is. I'm at not Machete Comics. I'm in a makeshift studio in Cloverdale, British Columbia.
You're in a closet with you. It looks like you're about to do stand up. It looks like you're about to stand up comedian place.
Got a few jokes.
What's the deal with
What's the deal with the brick wall, man?
I got a few jokes, and all the rest of it.
Open with a good one.
No, I actually don't have any.
I've never known you. I've never known you for be the joke guy, the coffee guy, but not the joke guy.
I'm not the joke guy. I might be able to slide a one-liner in there every now and again. I like zinging Chris about his age, Matt.
Yeah,
so there
thanks,
go.
buddy. Well,
he looks young though. It looks young though.
Thanks, buddy. Well, wait till you see my video game collection, then you'll be like, "Whoa, that dude's old."
Matt, what's up, man? This is Matt from Trivium, a good friend of mine that I toured a little bit with and tried to caffeinate him and all the rest of it. He's so kind to come on this podcast with us this week as we talk retro video games and horror movies and all of our favorites as we come on the Halloween sort of season, as you will. And Matt and I had some good chats out on the road about such things. And here he is, man. I really appreciate you making the time. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks so much for having me. Yeah, like I was saying before we went on air, every time I see your face, I'm always like, oh, it's time for good coffee. So that's what I was expecting. Because for all those you listening and watching, yes, we just did an amazing tour. My first tour with Trivium in 2 years. The tour was amazing. It was 5,000 to 10,000 people a night. We didn't miss one single show. It was perfect. And the catering coffee was either bad to good, bad to medium, but Brent would always have the absolute best stuff. You show up in our dressing room like the freaking coffee angel and always make us feel good. So it's good to see you, man. I really appreciate being on here.
Nice. Once you find out who the coffee people are out there, then they all come together. It's like, for me now that I don't drink anymore, it's like the coffee people come to you and you're like, oh, you make coffee and all the rest of it. And it's just pretty fun. Willie from Lamb of God came up to me on almost the last show. And I didn't, you and I were like, you would see me making coffee. Like, what are you making coffee there? Yeah. But Willie was never really around very much. Mm-hmm. And he came up to me, I think it was in St. Louis. And he's like, are you the coffee guy? And I said, yeah. He goes, you got to see what I got going on my bus. And I'm like, why are we meeting with 2 shows left? Anyway, it was just a funny kind of thing. But yeah, it brought everyone together. So we were out gallivanting around this fine country of ours. And you, my friend, have a brand new record out.
Look at that artwork, man. I love that artwork.
Thank you so much.
Who did that?
Artist named Matthew Nausea out of France. We gave him the concept, gave him the title, and that was his second. The idea of that was the second draft. It took 4 months. It's completely hand painted. Everything was done like the old masters used to do. My goal was to find someone as good as Caravaggio, which I knew was going to be impossible. But amazingly, I found someone who kind of is as good as Caravaggio. So,
dude, that's brilliant, man. That's really. I have a comic company, a small comic company, and that piece of work. I love the old school, like you're mentioning. Love it.
He's amazing. He's amazing. He absolutely knocked it out of the park. And we've got that thing. The physical painting right now is still in the UK, and we just need to ship it over to us. It was there we did a beer event where basically that painting was there, and 3 of our favorite bands played there while we were actually playing Mount Pleasant on the last run that we were on. But we also had a Birmingham, UK event happening at the same time with that painting, 3 bands, and a Trivium beer. We also did the same thing in Orlando just a couple weeks ago, but it was actually the stunt version of the painting. So it wasn't the original. So people that thought it was the original, I hope they weren't too bummed out, but we still don't have the original yet. I can't wait to get it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Is that something that you guys are conscious about as far as your branding's not the word I'm particularly looking for, but you've got a theme to the album. Is this something that you're very, very passionate about and conscious about when it comes to designing out how you're going to come running out, or does it come out of the theme of a song that you wrote and you're like, oh, that would be a great idea for a song or for an album title? And yeah, let's commission somebody to do this.
I mean, we put as much time and energy into everything that we do as the music. Like some bands kind of just focus on the music and the lyrics come secondary. Some get those two, maybe not the live show, but we make sure everything from our merchandise to our album art to our lyrics to the way we look on stage to our production to everything is thought out as intensely as the music. So this definitely shows how much thought and energy we put into it. We always have. Our album covers, I think, have all been pretty amazing, but it's been since I would say the In Waves record, our fourth album, that we really figured out the visuals of the band. I feel like we always had the album art, but maybe not the videos or the way we looked or et cetera, et cetera. But it was on the In Waves record in 2011 that every single record after that we had the new logo that matched the artwork, that matched the merchandise, that matched the website, that matched the music videos, and everything just went. I feel like that's the best way to go about it. I want people, when they're listening to our band, they're stepping into a whole world. It's not just listening to the music.
It's everything.
Yep.
That's
awesome.
Great. That's good. A lot of bands artists don't do that these days. I love that.
They definitely don't. Yeah, you could tell. You'd be like, man, there's music's really good, but damn, what is that album cover? Or these lyrics are awful, but the music's pretty cool. And we want to make sure everything hits its marks. And that's because I think a lot of stuff we're going to talk about here, it's because we've been fans of so many different things, and we see how the presentation has to be completely thought out for everything.
Awesome, man.
We're live on your Twitch right now, everybody. Yes. And so I don't think I've met anybody. Okay, I've mentioned this before, I think, in passing to other artists and all the rest of it. I don't believe that I've met an artist as busy and active on Twitch as you, which taught me a lot. You guys were streaming the whole time we were out on tour and doing all the rest of it. But also, you've really utilized it to really help brand out yourself, but the band and all the rest of it. So, as we come through the podcast land and we're trying to find new avenues to get out and all the rest of it, I was always very impressed with your commitment to Twitch. Backstage, you used to seeing bands swing off the ropes and it's madness and there's all the rest of it. But because of COVID, things have changed now and bands are kind of like there's nobody backstage and guys are kind of occupying. So if Matt's not wrestling somebody in MMA fashion, he's online. He's online all the time. I've never seen a band do this as trivia. So that was very cool.
It does take dedication to do that. Like you'll say, "Oh, I can take care of all the online publicity. Don't pay somebody to do that." And then day after day after day, man, it really takes some dedication, profession, and to be a pro to do that. I know a lot of people think, "Oh, wow, you post stuff online," but no, man, if you're going to do it consistently and get that vibe going online, which is where everybody is, man, it's tough. You got to stick with it, and you got to be diligent with it for sure.
Yep, it's a lot. You got to love it too. Like if my schedule is 5 days a week, 2 times a day off tour, and my schedule is 7 days a week, 1 to 4 times on tour. And if I didn't love it, I think it would come through all those hours, and it wouldn't be fun to watch. But I truly love it. I love everyone that's there. I look at just as much as it's a source of entertainment for the people coming in, a source of connection and community. It is for the viewers. It's also that for me as well. So if I have to do all these vocal exercises, like Brent said, everyone's just backstage with their own bus, and that's sort of it in last run. If I can be backstage and my vocal exercise is very extensive, it's an hour long and it's very specific. If I have to be there doing that by myself, I would rather have several hundred people that I like being around talking to me and making me laugh while I do it.
Nice. Yeah.
Not only that, but it takes a lot of balls to do a vocal warm up in front of a few hundred people, man. When you're
messed up all the time,
oozing the eyes and
my voice squeaked this morning. It squeaked on other things, and I just don't even care anymore. It used to make me nervous, but now, I think when you can show that human side of it, when it should be shown, I think that side should not happen during our shows, but in preparation, it's okay. Like in preparation, mistakes have to happen, but shows they shouldn't.
Now, to your Twitch feed, I want to get it. We're going to get into some retro video games with you because of how much you game, and I know you game a lot with Call of Duty and some of the other things. But Chris and I were going to do a retro video game kind of breakdown and chat. I was like, well, Matt would be great for this because this guy's playing it all the time. But what is the main thing that you cover on your Twitch feed when you're not touring?
Okay, so the main thing, about 75 to 90% of the time, is me playing music. It's generally 75%, 90% of the time me playing Trivium songs for Trivium supporters, especially with our new record just out. It's been a matter of me relearning it and playing these things. And now that we've got 10 records out, there's always a new set list I could do every single morning or every single stream. That's essentially what I do. However, when I'm playing games, when I first started streaming, it was Fallout 4, then Overwatch, then Fortnite, then Valorant, back to Overwatch for a minute, Call of Duty pretty much nonstop. and I have just started playing Elder Scrolls Online. And Elder Scrolls Online, we were able to do an incredible collaboration with them. One of our music videos, they handed us hours upon hours of CGI footage from their new game that we turned into a movie inside of our video. So our song, The Phalanx, all the storyline stuff is incredible CGI from the game. It's stuff that if we would have wanted to do that ourselves, it's like hundreds of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in there. So that whole video was that. I was able to cover one of the songs from the game, because the game's all like medieval. So I took one of their bard songs, made a metal song, played that at their Elder Scrolls Online, the Bethesda year-end event. I just finished another one. It's almost done. I'm gonna finish it once we're done with it. Once I'm done with 2 interviews today, and just do more and more. Like Elder Scrolls, I can't believe how obsessed I am with it. And it's weird playing a video game and not getting mad, because I usually only play against other people. I didn't think I'm a competitive person, but I guess maybe I am a little bit. I love to play shooting games against other human beings. And I like to win. So this game, it's just, you just get to chill and enjoy the story and be in this ancient mythical world. And it's weird playing a game and just having fun and not being angry afterwards.
Yeah, some of those games can really frustrate you.
Yeah.
Especially if you got the same boss over and over again and you start from the beginning of the level. But I was wondering, so I got a 2-part question for you. So part 1, what was the first video game that you can remember playing? And second question, or part B, would be, what was the game that hooked you and was like, okay, this isn't just a once a week kind of thing. I'm playing video games. I love this game. So first game ever and game that hooked you. There's
a picture of me at about 4 or 5 years old, and I'd have to ask my mom exactly what of me with the "you just beat the game" screen from the very first Mario off NES. So I've been playing games since then.
Right.
I guess I've been hooked since then, but I remember really going nuts over a game remember when Donkey Kong Country came out, there was a documentary on it on TV. I remember VHS recording, and I'd watch it all the time in between playing it. I guess the Final Fantasy games would have been when I really went full blown. There's a Japanese term for it called otaku. When it used to be a derogatory term for like a nerd, but now it's a positive term for like a super fan.
Right.
So it's Final Fantasy 2 and 3, which were actually Japanese 4 and 6, that I really went nuts over. 7, 6, and 4 are my favorite Final Fantasies of all time. I collect all of them. I have every single game that's ever existed of Final Fantasy up until like 13. I have every single edition that's ever been released, with every strategy guide, with the limited edition toys, limited edition
complete
soft plush toys, everything. So I'd sit with the games and with the strategy guide and finish them 100%. I'd finish them the way you're supposed to finish them, get all the best things you're supposed to get. And I was full blown. So RPGs were my life for a long time. Then I started getting shooters through GoldenEye. GoldenEye was one of the first shooters I really loved. I love split screen playing GoldenEye with my friends.
Oh, that
was like game. That was one of the best shooters of all time. And I wish it was as popular as Counter-Strike is right now. Then Call of Duty Modern Warfare was the one that really took over for me. Like once I got into that, that's when I started getting into like playing online.
Don't mind the guy cutting the grass behind me, gentlemen, but
I thought it was me, mine too.
There's somebody else doing it.
I got
Chris,
Marine.
what do you got for us? Chris broke out some retro games that I think you're going to dig here, buddy.
Oh, let's see. So here's one. This is the Gold Zelda.
Yep. Ocarina?
Ocarina of Time. Yeah, there you go. There. I do have my glasses. Hang on a second. See, I mentioned I'm going to show my age while my video games come out in more ways than one. And the other one here, Link to the Past. I got this one here as well.
That was like one of the kind of originals. I guess the original was NES, right? I think so. I never played the original one.
Oh, do you have this one, the gold version?
Yes, I do. Nice. I love that one. I love that.
Yeah, that's like one of the holy grails of Zelda, right? Is that gold? That gold one there. And then of course. Oh man! Did you ever play Metroid 2?
I love Super Metroid.
Super Metroid.
So
I mean, sorry. Yeah,
I loved Super Metroid. I was obsessed with the music, the vibe, everything. And actually, the Metroid they released on GameCube was pretty amazing. I can't remember which one that was, but there was something really like desolate and lonely and amazing about that one. But Super Metroid was one of my favorites of all time, like true favorites. I love that game. I can still hear the music in my head. Yeah,
sing it for us, Matt. Sing us the Metroid music.
I'll have to make a metal version of it.
There you go. That'd be cool. That's huge now, right? Because I like having video games done by shredding though is like huge.
Yeah. Now here's one of my goals in life is to score like score video games, not just a song, not just like it's like a one-off, not a soundtrack, but I want to fully do a game from beginning to end. And I've been very like vocal about it. The next Doom, like right now they don't have a composer for Doom. I want the Doom soundtrack is what I want.
I could see that for sure. I was going to say, did you pick a game? So Doom is the one. Like, if you could pick any game to do a soundtrack for, would it be Doom?
One. That's the one. I used to think Final Fantasy, but like that's so orchestral. Like I want to do Doom because it's like it's guitars. So that's.
Could you do it all? Could you do it all at your house, Matt? You got to go to the big studio.
I could 100. I would track it all here, and I would have Josh Wilbur, the guy that does the Trivium stuff, mix it. That's what I would do.
That'd be awesome.
You must have been asked before, though. You must have been asked before to do something, but like some kind of video game.
Yeah, we've been in a lot. It's always been like a song for a game, or like the thing we did with ESO is huge. I mean, having the collab thing, but I want to like ground up, like do every single piece of music you'll hear for an entire game. I mean, we've written a song for God of War. We've been in The Sims. We've been in Madden, UFC, like tons and tons of stuff in game, tons of stuff not in game, but the soundtrack, like the companion soundtrack. But I want to fully do the game.
Yeah, you heard it here first. You heard it here, folks. Well, maybe not first, but you heard it here on the Kids on the Escalator podcast. If you're listening and you make Doom.
Yeah, well, that would be such a cool, because they give you the storyline, right? And you're like, okay, you're writing for each level or whatever.
Yeah. That's what I want to do.
That would be a fun game.
I was able to tell the creative director for Doom. I interviewed him on my channel.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, hey, I know you guys don't have a guy. If you're ever looking for a guy, just know I want to do it. He's like, I know.
Maybe he's already considering you then. That sounded positive too.
I hope so.
That sounded positive.
I hope so.
Nice. Yeah, I just want to show one more game. Have you ever heard of this game?
I think I played that. Was there an ET game for NES? Because if there was, I would have played that. Atari, I don't think I ever played Atari. That was just before my time.
This is apparently the worst game ever made.
Well, right? it's impossible to finish. You can't finish it.
You can. No, you can. If you type in YouTube, there's a way to do it. It's just, it's nuts, dude.
That's how Super Ghouls and Ghosts are. Super Ghouls and Ghosts on SNES is one of the hardest games in the world.
I love Ghosts and Goblins, the original, man. I have that down here as well. So that's part 2, I guess, to Ghosts and Goblins.
I never played the original, but I played Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
Okay.
And anytime I hear any of the music from Super Ghouls and Ghosts, I feel like the band Ghost sounds like Super Ghouls and Ghosts, but it might just because the word Ghost is in it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love the old games are great. They're really
they're fantastic.
I play a lot of zombie games. I'm waiting for Dying Light 2 to come out, and they keep pushing it back on me.
I loved the Nazi zombies of Call of Duty Black Ops, the first one. Der Rise was my favorite map. I loved that. And it's gotten too advanced for me now. I just really stick to either PvP, like fighting other humans in shooting games. But I think I'm really going to become pretty obsessed with Elder Scrolls. I've really been into that lately.
I could say that's a great game. It is.
It's very good.
Very addicting. Very addicting. What about horror movies? Should we switch gears to horror movies?
Yeah, Brent was asking me.
We'll switch to that, because we're talking about it today. We're getting some contributions from the network that we're on. We got a lot of people in the network that want to weigh in, and some voicemails today that we're going to get to. But last year at this time, this is basically Chris and I's 1-year anniversary. Right around this time, we're putting this show together, and we actually launched out with our sort of retro, kind of top 5 our favorite horror movies of all time. But it's always a great conversation because people have their own kind of takes. So go ahead, Matt. You sent me something. I'm wondering if this is it. If this is it here.
Yes, that's the one. So I always, when people talk horror, they always think like zombies, monsters, splattering, gore. Cool. Like that stuff's fine. That's entertaining. But I feel like Oldboy, as far as like horror and being shocked and seeing something you've never been used to seeing and something that really hits you and makes you feel horrible. I think there's something to be said about horror in that sense. It was the artist that actually did Ascendancy. He started telling me about Korean directors back then. Now we can see the huge eruption and explosion of Korean stuff being mainstream. Look at Squid Game. Squid Game is like the most popular TV show of all time, but it's a Korean show. And the great Korean stuff usually is the most unique. And it's usually the stuff that will stick with you forever. Like, sure, Dead Alive's fun. The chainsaw, like the lawnmower killing zombies is fun. But Oldboy, if you want true horror, something that just makes you feel down to your bones and your soul, Oldboy is one of the greatest things ever. I've never seen the remake. Not to be a jerk, but I would just tell people to not watch the remake and just watch the original, because the original is perfect. I don't know why they redid it. I think they need to stop redoing so many great movies, but that is one of the greatest ones. And I do believe that Oldboy is the film that opened up the doors for Korean films being popular mainstream and popular outside of the world. Chan-wook Park, I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up if Chan-wook Park did Parasite. I think it's possible. I'm gonna look it up right now. I think that sounds right.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about Old Boy, Matt, that is
it's not? It's Bong
creepy?
Joon-ho. Sorry.
What is it about Old Boy that's so creepy that you're just like, it's gonna freak you out?
You just have to see it. You have to, if you haven't seen it yet, you got to watch from start to finish. Watch it with no distractions. And the Korean films are unlike anything that exists. I feel like there's so many things where it's similar tropes they walk into, the same similar backstories or similar kind of killers, similar kinds of deaths or arcs. But the way the Korean films do it is unlike anything else. Same thing, just watching the first episode of Squid Game, you're like, oh, that is not where I expect to go. And there's always a deeper message within it as well, which I love. It's not just for the sake of that. So the fact that like it sticks with you in so many levels and you can really peel away and investigate all these different things. I mean, Parasite isn't as much like horror. Maybe not horror at all, but it's something that really sticks with you as well from different Korean director. But Old Boy is one that you're not going to feel good after you watch that. You're not going to feel good.
Not the mission.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah.
that,
Yep.
is to become.
Yes.
In anything, I don't think the only thing I haven't comfortable is The Exorcist. Honestly, I mean,
The Exorcist,
when Saw,
the original Exorcist.
Saw got a little ugly. It was uncomfortable just because be there with, that was uncomfortable. Like they had to find new ways to like torture someone, and I guess that's that's a whole thing. Which some debate whether that's horror. Some think it's just kind of shock,
like that stuff.
versus...
It's fun for a bit. Yeah, like I agree. Like I've watched all the Saws, but the new one, it's been a long time. I started the new one on the plane home from tour. I saw there's a pregnant woman kind of like back adjacent for me. So I was like, you know what? I just turned it off and I watched A Quiet Place 2 instead because I was like, I don't want to make her feel like nauseous because
that was nice, dude.
Yeah, I really that's how empathetic I am. But yeah, I mean, I feel like anytime it's something grisly or gritty or makes you scared or freaked out, it is horror. It's a pretty. I think what I'm picking is kind of maybe wouldn't be classified as horror typically. But I think there is something about that when it really taps into your mind. And I remember Paula was the one that got me into horror stuff. Show me what else it can be, like The Witch. The Witch isn't like a splatter, isn't a monster thing necessarily, but it's terrifying. Same thing with Hereditary. Hereditary is so different about the idea of a horror film, and I really like that. Like I feel like there's a time and a place for the gore stuff. I'm not huge into the torture stuff. Like I think it's fine. It's not that it grosses me out. I just think I want it presented differently. There's a time and a place. But if you want to pick like true, like, all right, what can I watch in Halloween that hits all the boxes for horror? The Dawn of the Dead remake that came out in like the 2000s, I thought was one of the best things ever because it was so entertaining. It was fantastically done, and it was fun, and it was intense. So that one would be the one if you want like just a pure, all right, this is a horror film. But Old Boy is one, and I felt it was. I'm not sure. It might be the director who did Parasite, who did Okja, but Okja is one of the most depressing things I've ever seen in my entire life. It's another Korean film. Yeah, that one's just soul crushing to watch. That was Bong Joon-ho as well, same director. They just do things that just hurt. It hurts your mind. It's not even that it's like graphic or brutal. It just speaks down to a level of your soul that makes you think in your life. So yeah. Yeah, that's it. The Korean stuff.
I think we all have some learning to do. We got some learning to do when it comes to that side of it, because I think people, I think it's getting more creative now, though. I think it's getting more creative where people are pushing the buttons now and trying to change the genre. Yeah. Right. I think there's a genre change that's happening.
There's not a lot of there's not a lot of Stanley Kubrick's left in the world type people, who examine scenes and stuff. Hopefully, as you're mentioning about the remakes, I've had enough remakes, man. Yeah, let's get some new creators out there and get something fresh, something different, like you're saying.
No more origin stories, no more remakes, no more reboots. Stop it. Just come up with something new. But I feel like that's Korea. Korea's been doing that for us, and I'm so obsessed with all those Korean films. And Old Boy is part of the Vengeance trilogy. It's actually the second film of a 3-part. It's not really related, it's just the theme is vengeance. Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, which is just as heartbreaking and terrible and intense and amazing to watch, then Old Boy, then Lady Vengeance. Old Boy is the best of the 3, but those all go together. And if anyone has been into Parasite or any of those, that they're going to be really into it. But Squid Game was fantastic too, absolutely fantastic. It is as good as all the hype said. I feel like Korea is just nailing it for the intensity.
You think people are it's still hard to program people to follow subtitles and all the rest of it. It's really people just don't like it.
It is. It's funny. We've gotten
like it.
So into it because of having kids. So we couldn't have the TV loud. And I'm like, I can't understand what the hell anyone's saying. Yeah. So we just started turning on English subtitles for English shows. And now watching stuff that's subtitled is absolutely no issue to me. Like, it feels so normal. Like, we watch everything with subtitles, even Seinfeld at night with subtitles. So it's once you get used to it, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I that's because I was like, I can't hear it that well, or something else is going on. The cats are doing whatever. But I always have subtitles on. I'm hooked on it. Plus, if I find you catch little things in some of the movies where they're whispering, and oh, that's what he said there. And sometimes it's key moments, right? And
absolutely,
if you're really into the movie, like The Shining, man, I can't watch The Shining without that on there. I'm always looking for something new that somebody said or whatever, right? Yeah, awesome stuff. I totally agree.
Such a great way to go about it. Yeah. What else did Paulo show me? So Hereditary, The Witch. Babadook, he kind of considered in that like new school of horror where it almost doesn't even have to show gore and it's still pretty terrifying, which I thought that's a really fun spin on horror. I think it's an interesting way, and it's not because like I don't want the gore. The gore is fine, but I want, after seeing so much, it needs to really hit you differently.
Time and a place, right? It should at least help the storyline a bit, whatever, you
Absolutely.
know? Like, yeah.
Absolutely.
Matt, you got a new record out, and it's fantastic.
Thank you so much, man.
That must have been a labor to do over the COVID times that we're in and all the rest of it. Now that it's out, it's like releasing your baby to the world. How are you feeling? It's a couple weeks after post-release. I think you mentioned to me on tour that, you know, I think the new single was doing the best of anything you've ever done, which is awesome. So how you feeling post-tour, post-record release, all the rest of it?
It's crazy. This record, I don't want to take anything away from it. It was so incredibly easy to write and so incredibly easy to track. It only took us 14 days to track the whole thing because we just came in like as much as you saw me doing the warm-ups and the practice and stuff, my guys do the same. All four of us are as intense with practice and rehearsals as I am. They're just a little quieter about it. Like they don't stream it, so you kind of don't know. But this record was effortless to make. We didn't plan on making an album. We just captured lightning in a bottle that started coming out. We were feeling good. We all just moved down. We had the full band finally living in Florida together. We bought the airplane hangar together. Life was feeling good. And we just started making music. I think I've mentioned to you, Brent, but how Trivium has always been just purely held up by our fans. And we've never really been a band that press or other bands have talked about. But what's crazy about this new record, it totally flipped that on its head. Now every single freaking press outlet is talking about how this is very well one of the best Trivium, if not the best Trivium records ever. And that's not something you hear often on record 10, that people say, hey, this new record 10 is possibly the best thing they've ever done. It's usually people talking about 1, 2, or 3, or 4, something early, like I like the old stuff. But now record 10 is the one that people are all agreeing on, that this very well could be the best record. And I agree. It's so fun to play. It's so fun to listen to. We're so incredibly proud of it. We love it. And things are just going really, really well for it.
It's awesome, man. You got a great band. All the guys are awesome. They're monster players. And it was a real pleasure watching you every single night.
It was an awesome touring with you, man. Thanks so much for everything you did on the last tour. Really appreciate you.
Well, coffee all the way, right? So, Matt, let's. I know people can find you, online because you're on every platform, even the ones not invented yet. But give us a little rundown of where we can point everybody to find you.
Yep, twitch.tv/Matthew K. Hafey is basically where I'm at 5 days a week. At Matthew K. Hafey on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Discord. I'm on all of those at Matthew K. Hafey. I luckily secured that branding across the board. So it's on everything. So if you're just on TikTok, I'm on there. If you're just on Twitch, I'm on there. But Twitch is the main one to pay attention to. Matthew K. Hafey. You can also, MatthewKHafey.com is also a link to everything. And that's where you can find everything that I do.
Awesome, buddy. Are you going to also secure your same handles on the new Trump social media network as well?
Already got it. Already got it. That's what I'll be live streaming 100% of the time now. Awesome,
man. Matt, thank you, man, for joining us.
Thank
Kids
you
on the Escalator podcast.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you,
Best
guys.
of luck with the new album, everything.
Much, dudes. You guys take care.
Come back anytime. And this is a little highlight for you, Matt, that we captured at
this is cool.
Slipknot together. As Iowa in the middle of the field, hanging out. Great. And this is what Trivium and Matt do best. That's Matt Hafey, everybody, from Trivium. Brand new record. Awesome, dude. Check this out. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you so much, friends.
Oh, yo, get the fuck out. That's stage 2. Let's all fucking party together. Come on, get the fuck down. All y'all in the back, get the fuck down. I know you know how to do this shit. We ain't coming back up till this motherfucker kicks in. When this motherfucker kicks in, it's 2 words. In waves. Top of your lungs. I see you standing. Come on, get down, get down, get down. Now fest. When this shit kicks in, everything you fucking got.
And just like that, we're back. How about that there, Chris?
It's great.
See you there? Where are you?
I'm right here.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay, let me get back to dual screen here. What's going on? How come I'm isolated? What the hell's happening? This new tech.
Hello.
Jesus.
Hey. So Matt's a rad dude. That was really cool. Had a lot of people commenting on that earlier that he was going to be on the show, and they're pretty stoked. Connor Longfeet, my old one of my old students there. He's out there somewhere. Connor, if you're watching, cheers, buddy. Yeah, he was on there, and Tim Gibson, old friend of mine from Caesarea area. He was pretty stoked on that. Spike Ray, he was stoked on that.
He touched on some really cool stuff, and the record's doing really great for them. And
what I say about that cover, man, that cover's smoking.
It was
just a nice guy though, too, right? Like it's so good to find that nice people who are having good luck and good things done for them in the entertainment music industry, right? That's awesome. I like
making time for the little guys like us. 1 year in, the guy gets asked all the time to do some stuff, but
very cool.
Awesome. Yeah. Now, speaking of people who make time for the little people, we got a whole bunch of people in the waiting room. Now, nice. I'm gonna add the coolest person first because she was laughing and totally down with every single thing that you were talking about with the video games with Matt and everything. Every single game that you brought out. Ashley Lindley here was cool. Like, this is like the funniest. She was just rocking, and her better.
I relived my entire childhood.
Oh, yeah, cool! And then, that was just the tip of like all the video games I have. Actually, I have tons.
And her partner in crime, Ryan from the Sheep and Shepherd podcast. On that,
what's up, guys? I was
gonna do hit and runs here, but I feel like doing the Brady Bunch window.
Okay. Yeah, I know, right? There
you go. Because there's so many people. We got Brad hanging out. We got a bunch of people kind of chilling. And look up and look over and all the rest of it.
Anyways, I was looking.
Welcome to the show, my friends, and let's bring Brad. Let's bring Brad in here too, just for fun. And Brad, there you are.
Holy,
how are you, buddy?
Here too.
Look at all these people in here.
Ashley, how are you?
Good.
All these people in here. It's,
Chris,
I'm not gonna lie.
What's up, friends?
I just gotta find the right window here. Hold on.
My heart rate, guys. It's still exploding from the Slipknot clip because I remember the last time I was at a Slipknot show and I might have gotten kicked in the face and I wasn't even in the pit. I was on the outside of the pit, so
she's got a big mouth.
That was very intense. It was like, oh my god, it's happening.
She was at like a burger. She was at like a Burger King near the show. That's where it happened. Don't lie.
Yeah, once they pull the cord on those pits, man, you got to watch out.
We actually had I felt very inadequate coming into the show today. So we had a concert planned out front, but it rained, so we couldn't do it. So we're sorry.
Oh, you were actually going to do a show for us?
Yeah, we had thousands of people that were at the park across the road, but they didn't come because it rained. Oh, sorry, you're stuck with us.
Yeah.
So this is Ryan Lindley, Sheep and Shepherd podcast. This is his beautiful wife Ashley. Hello, how are you? Laughed along, and the only person that showed any emotion during this whole thing with Chris with the video games. Literally, I have to reiterate that watching you in that window react to all of these games was the funniest goddamn thing I've seen all year. And Brad Hopper from the brand new Offload Delay podcast on the Dean Blundell Network, First Responders podcast, along for the ride. How are you, sir? Good to see you, man.
Doing well. Been busy.
Awesome.
It's been good.
Just coming off Kingstonian there with Chris and everybody. So it's awesome.
Come on, man.
Yeah, buddy. We got to hook up sometime.
Yes, definitely.
We have to hook up sometime. We can talk shop privately.
Sounds good, my friend.
Look forward to it.
So guys and girls and everybody, we are doing our annual sort of like scary movie-a-thon as we go through the process. And Chris and I had a whole bit last year where we started our podcast in essence doing this one, we basically ran down sort of our favorite horror movies. So we did this as a bit of a hit and run. We like to have as many people from the network on. They kind of come on, talk a little bit about their favorite flick, and then promote your show, and away we go. And I think we got Bonzi coming on. We're going to throw to him because he's going to go live after us. And I think we got our part-time host Mike coming on here.
We're going to get in the bike with Mike.
I'm getting the bike with Mike as well, who's in a car. So let's go. Let's go, Brad. Why don't you give us the goods here, buddy, on your favorite horror movie Halloween kind of time frame?
This was a toss-up. I'm only going to throw the one name out, but my age is going to show here because I was fairly young, and it stuck with me even to this day as a guy that likes to go to the cottage, go near a lake. It's the original Friday the 13th. It's pretty lame, but that
I'm with you.
Was something that screwed with me a lot as a kid. I would not go to no, I'm pretty much over it now, but that sound was I could hear that. I didn't like going to the cottage at night. I didn't like going to the dock. I didn't like to be out we had a canoe as well, alone, so kind of remembered young Jason there, and he died in a lake, and it's all I could think about as a kid, and it truly stuck for years. So I have a hard time going to anything else but that. I heard Chris mention The Shining, and it was so close, but I got to go old school. 1980. I had to look it up before I came on. I'm old. If I have glasses around here too somewhere, Chris, but
don't worry. I'm the same with you. Like my favorite two horror movies are the originals, the Halloween one and Friday the 13th, the first. Like those are just my go-to movies when it comes to that. Rob Zombie didn't do too bad of a job, I thought, with the remake of his Halloween 1. Halloween 2 he did. He lost me there. I don't know what he was doing with that one, but I love the classics, man. I don't like torture movies. I like the stupid horror movies. Not so, like, don't go in there. Nope, she's going in there. I love those ones. Another just to throw another one out is Chopping Mall. If you get a chance, it's on Prime. Chopping Mall. It is cheesy 80s horror, and you will have fun. You will laugh. You will laugh until you stop. It's just a great movie.
It's a great name. That's a hell of a name for a movie. Chopping Mall.
What did I like that? Friday the 13th. Would they do 12? Is that the final number?
Oh, man. I don't know.
I think there was 12 when I looked it up. It just surprised me. Why would they not do 13?
No kidding.
Right?
Well, maybe they're holding out.
That could be.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'll do a full life cycle on Friday the 13th movies here. It'll be a complete package.
I'm a fan. I think I liked 6 and 7 and those ones as well.
It's an age thing.
That was the epitome of the cheese when I got into it. If you
the
watch,
third one was good. Got his mask.
The third one as well.
If you look at the Feldman era, man, the Corey Feldman era of
4 and 5, right?
It was so simple, man. It was a pair of coveralls and a mask, and that was it. No high-end makeup, nothing. A couple young kids playing at the cottage, goofing around, kids making out. Remember that? Yeah, it takes me back. I'm glad you had me think about it.
That's how we made this podcast, buddy.
Yeah, it's exactly what it's.
Masks.
Coveralls. Yeah. A little bit of blood. Some screaming.
Now, Ryan, you mentioned that Ashley's actually the expert here. So, Ashley, why don't you give us a little info here on what your favorite is?
I have a problem, as you might be able to see from what's behind me here.
Oh, Stephen King.
And I don't own a lot of books that aren't written by Stephen King, and I could probably broaden my horizons a little bit, but I just love the guy. So, and I know that The Shining isn't his favorite of everything that he ever created. It kind of pissed him right off, but I mean, it's still a really good movie. Oh yeah. It's not the book. I get that it's not the book, and you really can't compare the two. But if it doesn't freak you out, then there's something wrong with you. Yeah, it's just I think we all remember the lady in the bathtub, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like if you read that and you saw it, and it was just like, oh my God, you'll never unsee it. Like that was terrifying to me. But it was a lot of the psychological stuff with Stephen King. Like he just gets inside your head and freaks you right out.
You should come back and co-host with Chris and do a deep dive into The Shining because he's dying to dive into the.
I
the
love
Shining.
it. I could watch The Shining on Christmas Day. You know what I mean? I just love The Shining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Well, it's you know what? It's winter. It's snowing. How is that not a Christmas movie?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Beats the shit out of those Hallmark movies.
Yeah, you bet it does.
It should be a holiday movie.
Why not?
Ryan, what do you say, buddy? What are you saying?
I'm so torn. I'm kind of with Hopper when it comes to the old classics because it brings me back to being a kid and being scared shitless on the couch. But mine was always Nightmare on Elm Street, the Wes Craven stuff, right? And 1984. As it got a little older and a little more, wise to. You outsmart the scary movies so you don't piss yourself when you go to sleep. The monster thing kind of went away, and I got more into the thriller aspect of things, like the murderers and the more realistic things that weren't so supernatural, which is why I kind of strayed away from. I used to be a big Stephen King guy as well. I like his books, but I'm not huge on the sci-fi, and he kind of went a little sci-fi weird on me as of late. So I don't think.
But he came back.
A little bit. Like Mr. Mercedes and things like that now are really good. I love horror. I just don't.
Well, that started.
We've just started a new segment on this show. It's called Let's Start a Domestic. So here we go. We're going to have two of you debate this. Yeah, you're going to debate this. And let's see what you got, you two.
Well, let me finish my movies.
Is this why we're in separate rooms?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I enjoyed Insidious was another one. Insidious series was really good. And The Ring. Anything that came out of Japan or Korea for horror was always good. Like it's horrible. It's terrible. It's like, how the fuck could you even put that on TV?
Yeah.
What are you thinking? It's so good, right? But those are mine now. And yeah, that like it's very, childish, and I guess it's I don't know. It's not so sophisticated for somebody that's like a skeptic and doesn't like things that are pretend. I'm a little defensive on my horror movies.
What was the one that we ended up falling over laughing at the end of?
That was Insidious, wasn't it? Wasn't it like Insidious 2 or something? I thought it was like the second one of those.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah.
We were the only people at the drive-in that were just like absolutely.
So this is it's a very insider topic. So we'll just keep going with your Stephen King. How wrong you are about him.
How dare you?
See, this is what people pay to watch. So the reason why Ashley's locked in the garage is because her opinions on horror movies are horrible. And she can stay there with her Stephen King books. And
wait, I didn't bring the new one. That's not fair.
That's right.
I got the new one. I got the new one upstairs. Yeah, I got the one.
Brent,
to 5
Brent can read it to you. It'll be nice.
Yeah, I tried it. Yeah, it's all good.
As long as somebody reads me stories, I'm okay being locked in the garage.
If you had to pick like one, like if you had to pick like a talk, because you guys seem a little more like you've been doing this, and you've got watching you guys dissect things like this is amazing. So if you had to pick one, if there was only one movie left that you could watch every Halloween, which one would it be?
Good question, Chris. Go for it. I've got mine.
It would be Halloween.
Halloween.
Oh wow.
Halloween one with Michael Myers.
Jamie Lee Curtis, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And that girl says totally all the time, right?
Yes.
Totally.
Yeah, that's totally my pick right there. Yeah, that would be it.
Nice.
That would be it.
What about
Brad,
you, Brent?
what do you think, buddy?
Okay, fine. Well, go ahead, host the show. Whatever.
Yeah, this is.
Whoa.
I have to stick with my original pick. Part 1, Friday the 13th.
Nice.
I still have the hockey mask somewhere, so I got to be able to use it every year if I'm not watching the movie. Yeah. That's the other thing I want to bring up. When Ryan mentioned Freddy Krueger, and then Chris mentions Halloween and Michael Myers, those were costumes for like a decade when I was growing up as a kid. Those fake claws from Freddy, the rubber mask where they were suffocating with the Freddy face scars, the hockey mask of Jason, and then Mike Myers had that white plasticky face, and I can still picture it. Like those things stood the test of time year after year. It's probably coming out with episodes every year, but I really remember seeing those costumes a lot more now or then than you do now, as far as I'm aware, of movie-based Halloween costumes. They seem to dominate Halloween.
One of the things that we did here is voicemail. So I'm going to throw a voicemail into the mix we can discuss. Believe this is from Jen Shafaro, I believe. Our team. Stand by from the team. Let me just see where it's going to come in here. Here we go.
Hey there.
Be able to hear.
It's Shoot with Authority, aka Jennifer Shafro. Tagged on a tweet to talk about my favorite horror movie. And within 1 minute, which is most definitely not enough time, I think horror movies, that genre is my favorite. And I think the scarier ones for me are the ones that are more believable. So, like hauntings or possessions. What's the movie? The Exorcist probably did the biggest number on me. But I'd still watch it 100 million times over. But stuff like, I don't know, vampires and werewolves. Well, granted, it could be real. Everything comes from somewhere, but I don't find that as scary, except for in Twilight's case where the acting was terrifying. But really, and it's probably not a horror movie, but Jaws. Jaws ruined my life. Oddly enough, I became a San Jose Sharks hockey fan for quite a few years. But yeah, that's about it.
That's nice. Yeah, well, if it plays with horror tricks on your mind, it's a horror movie.
Right?
Yeah,
That's
I
the
guess
new
so.
feature. New feature we got there called it's all about voicemail. So people can leave voicemail for us over at kidsontheescalator.com. So that's kind of rad.
Neat.
Be able to do that. So
yeah, that was cool.
Stuff.
That's a good comment. I liked it. Good comment. Good comment.
I'm an Exorcist guy myself, so
yeah, it's good
for me, I could watch that count over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And Chris likes to find the little bits in there. No, you're saying no. But that part where she's sitting on the chair like this and he's talking, it's like I'm speaking to the person inside Regan right now. Yeah, and she's like, she's not here. I'm like, that was it for me. And I think my kids are around 12. Yeah, 13 and 11 now. They're right around the same time that I watched Exorcist for the first time. And
well, you better sit them down and have them watch it.
Sounds like a rite of passage time.
Yeah.
Thinking I should fast forward over the crucifix part. I'm guessing.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Everybody, awesome to have you guys on here. Brad, let's go to you, man. And you just worked at 48 hours in a row. So tell us everything about we need to know about offload and all that fun stuff.
Yes, please.
Offload Delay has been rolling now. We've got 2 whole podcasts on the network. It's Offload Delay is the YouTube channel. Woo-hoo. We're on Apple Podcast and Spotify so far. For whatever reason, Amazon and iHeartRadio dragged their feet a bit getting us approved. But we had some really good success. I think we got 50 subscribers right off that first pod on YouTube, and I'm pretty happy with that. And I think there's been 900-ish views. Had a really good guest left out there.
A lot of people watched it. A lot of people have been watching that. It's great.
There's a lot better stuff coming up. I'm trying to get them out every week. I got one coming out Thursday. Nice. I'd like to do every single week the same day, but I'm a shift worker. I can't do it. Mm-hmm. My schedule's all over the place. So it's just part of the niche, if you will. Yep. So a look into our world, what we deal with, the real stuff we deal with, and kind of a fly on the wall view for everyone else who wonders what we do in our first responder world. Got some really, really great guests coming. Some surprising stuff. Some stuff that's really quite emotional, quite sad, and real, but a lot of funny stuff too. So hopefully you can check it out, and we'll keep rolling. We're going to do our best. We're going to be live, I think. We're going to really try and get live. I'm finding if I'm doing a recording anyway, I'm like, probably should have just went live with this. I'd like to interact with some people, especially when I bring some guests back who have already been on. I've already had some people reach out about my last pod. So look forward to it. You guys have been great too. Everyone on this pod we're watching tonight has been super supportive, and I can't thank you enough, as well as Dean's whole team. So kudos.
Cool.
Kudos to you guys. You guys are
you're getting some trash here too. You're getting trash talked a little bit by Wade.
Wade's giving it to you, buddy.
But that's Wade calling someone
there
old.
You go.
Like
yeah.
It's just like water off a duck's back. That one. Yeah, no, it's all good. Yeah, appreciate it, guys. It's you've been a lot of help. Great bunch. Part of the
No kidding.
fun and the reward of this has been meeting all the other kind of common interesters out there in the podcast world, and it's new to me. Very new. I didn't plan on it. I didn't see it coming, and it kind of was an opportunity I couldn't pass. So I look forward to working with each and every one. I hope you're all going to be on it one day. Isn't that what we do?
Yeah.
Isn't that what we do?
Yeah.
We kind of bring
Yeah,
absolutely.
I may have seen Ryan on a few. Yeah. On
Friday.
Friday.
6 of them today.
Yeah.
Ryan's
I was working, and every time I turned the pod on Friday from work, it was like, is this skipping or what's going on? But
Well, I see on again.
God, yeah, but a few more beers in each time, so I knew it was real time. So,
beautiful.
yeah,
It was always live.
appreciate it.
Thanks, Hops.
Is Bonzi coming on?
Well, he's going to go on next. He's going on next after us, actually, on the
him.
network, but I haven't seen him yet. He's probably got no power on the bus, so
He didn't think you said horror movies. He was
Oh.
out.
Horror movies.
Yeah, he says, no, I'm out. Yeah, I'm done. So,
We had to pivot.
miss.
He had to pivot real
Well,
fast. He's doing some
he's
research.
probably a fan of Jaws than the other. Probably a fan of Jaws, though.
I hear you.
The porn movie, so.
I got you.
Thanks, Hops.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Let's chat soon. All right.
Thanks, man.
Easy, Bradley.
All right, you two.
Great show you got, man.
Yeah,
Great
it's
show.
it's really good. And I was listening to it the other day, and I was telling them, I'm like, not that we're getting into the horror details per se, but they were going into like some stuff that they were talking about coming up on a scene, and I'm like, I wish they would have went a little further.
Did you hear the nose story?
The nose? Yeah, I heard the nose story. The nose story. Yeah, that was quite something. And that's the content let's leave it at that, Ryan, because we're gonna make it go and look at that. It's like, if you want the nose story, go to Hop's Offload Delay podcast and listen to the nose story. And I'm sure he'll follow it up with an ass story and an ear story and an eye story and a whole bunch of different stories. We'll see.
It's not his fault.
No, it's not.
Yeah, but and anyways, guys, Ryan, Ashley, you guys are really rocking too with your pod. So let's tell us all about it. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy.
Yeah, we don't like stupid people.
Go ahead, dear. I like hearing it from you. This is nice. Tell them how much we rock.
Oh, we're just the top of the top. You know what? It was one of those things where when it got started, we don't even know where it was going. It was just like, you know what? We were stuck in the house for so long, and we were bitching about COVID, just like back and forth. And it was just like, there's nobody else to talk to about this. So before, shit escalated and got domestic eventually, we were like, let's get some other people in, and everybody else can hear us bitch about what's stupid, what grinds our gears, and we'll get a little bit of feedback from outside. And then it's like, oh, okay, you know what? Other people feel this way, and it's nice to know that you're not alone, and you're not surrounded by like anti-vax insanity every time you open social media and that's all you see. It's like, oh, cool. So we landed on a network with a bunch of normal people, and it was like, oh, all right, let's keep pumping them out.
Cool.
Yeah, we did. We came up with a concept of we wanted to debunk bullshit that you hear about on the internet. So we were talking about, let's do QAnon and 9/11 conspiracy bullshit and JFK, blah, blah. We've never left COVID very far from COVID just because there's just too much to do. Mm-hmm. So, and then I ended up in a Twitter fight with somebody. And
not you.
Dean was involved. This is before we came on board, and Dean and I kind of went through and liked each other's respective tweets and said, hey, good job, fuck that guy. And he shot me a DM. He says, oh, you got a podcast? I said, yeah. He goes, I'm going to listen to it tonight. I'll message you tomorrow. And here we are.
Nice.
So it was really good.
Yeah, it happened really fast.
Part of the family, and get to spend a lot of time on the main show now, which is really nice. It's a lot of fun. That's a really good crew of guys to be with, but need to spend a little more time focusing on our show as well at the same time, but there's only so many hours in a day. Yeah. So
what you're doing is cool. So as long as there's something on the channel, I'm happy.
Nice. Yeah, it's been fun. A lot of fun.
Try to have a lot of people on the show or on the network and try to support everybody as well. So everyone check out Ryan and Ashley and the Sheeple Shepherd podcast and on the D Blundell Network. Come back anytime, talk horror, talk.
Love you guys. Thank you so much. And
cheers, friends.
Awesome, guys. We'll see you next time.
Thanks so much for having us.
Awesome.
Sure.
So I see Bonzi below. So we're going to wrap this thing up here and go to him. We're going to go to him because he's going to go live with next and all the rest of it. So we've got a couple things that we've got to do before we get out of here. Number one, okay, wait. Kim's been patiently waiting. Christine, there we go. Kim, I love Christine. Amazing movie, Freaky. Kim checks in every week. So thank you, Kim, for that. Kim. And graphic wise, I got to go to here because Chris Machete, we're going to talk a little bit about Skeletron issue 1 and 2. Of course,
issue 2 still available. There it is. That's still available. Issue 1 sold out. Issue 2 is available. There's maybe 20 left, something like that. I don't know. We sold a few this week. Issue 3 is on its way. We have a big new character, wrestler, El Terrifico. If you get issue 2, you'll see a little flash of him at the end of issue 2. Then he's going to be the star of issue 3. I don't even think Skeletron's in issue 3 per se. I think. Oh, Kim got her issue 2 today. Kim, I'm glad. Thank you for the support, Kim. That's right. Yeah, Kim bought issue 2 off us. So there you go. Perfect. And Kim got hers today. Thank you for your support, Kim. I really appreciate that. So she will know on the very last page, there's a shot of El Terrifico, and he is the next big villain. Yeah. So yeah. So I believe she bought hers off of our Etsy store. So there you go. It works on Etsy. If you go to Etsy, Machete Comics, one word, you'll get that. Or if you just drop us an email, we'll hook you up. Yeah. Thanks, Kim.
So we got to do 2 hits before we go to Bonds here. Where did Mike? I just saw Mike in there. Maybe he wasn't in there. Bonzi, buddy. Yeah, what's happening, man? What's going on? Can you hear us, buddy?
I can hear
technology on the bus. There. There. I can hear you, buddy. There you go. Yeah, there's your technology on the bus.
It is.
And running a little lean.
Sadly, I have to say, lost right now. I've had it with people. I had to cancel them. I was supposed to switch Verizon today, and I apologize for the shitty feed, but we were unable to get the box from Verizon today. And so I borrowed my neighbor's, and sadly, it's out of data. So we're running off RV Wi-Fi right now, folks, until tomorrow. Whoa. When it's bad. So I apologize. It looks like it's doing okay right now, but it's been fun. I was watching behind the scenes there and before. And Chris, nice to meet you. I don't even ever even talk.
No, it's good to see you, buddy. Good to share a screen with you, my friend.
I don't think people understand that Chris Machete designed the Bonzi logo with Bonzi and
fun,
with Bonzi there. So we're just when you see Bonzi going down the road, that's a Machete Bonzi collaboration.
Machete Comics.
Now, Bonzi, you left us a voicemail about your favorite movie. So let's go to you before we throw to your show. Because, and let's, what do you got, man? What do you got for horror? And we're talking horror, not horror movies. I caught that earlier. What Ryan thought maybe you'd come out here with like Jaws, the horror. So what do you got, my man? What do you got?
Debbie does Jaws. And I do have a Jaws shirt on tonight. I don't know if I catch the whole show, but honorable mentions to Jaws because I've been terrified of the ocean ever since. But my favorite Halloween movies of all time, and the scariest movies is I'm on board with Chris. It's Halloween. I've been fascinated by them ever since 1978 when the first one came out, and you heard that music. To this day, that music box shivers up my spine, dude. And seeing pop out and they everything. It's been wild. So over to my upper microphone here. There we go. It's just there's no better movie. It scares the shit out of me. All of them are great. It's at number 3. Number 3 wasn't a part of the series, and it kind of got off track, and it doesn't fit in with the whole series. But the rest of them, and even the Rob Zombie ones, the second one I heard Chris mention. But all fantastic. I haven't seen the new one yet, but I'm going in the next few days with my son who lives in LA. So I'm going to take a trip down there and we're going to go check it out.
Beautiful.
That's where I'm at.
Nice.
Bonzi, you're up next on the network. What's on your show? What's on your show? Talk about what's going on, and then we'll let you get out of here. And and all that fun
Yeah,
stuff.
so we've got a great guest, Dylan Mattina. He's an actor in Hollywood. Went from an accountant in Buffalo, New York, the armpit of America. And he's been in the Hollywood scene for about 8 years now. And he's going to be a guest on the show tonight. We're going to talk the Alec Baldwin shooting and the protocols and stuff of how it should be, what happened, what he thinks happened. And so we're going to delve right into that and talk the latest up-to-date news of what's going on with that shooting and everything. So
interesting.
We'll be live about 2 minutes, and he'll be on not long after that, about 5 minutes after. I'll just do my intro, and boom, I'll bring him on and jump right into it.
Well, we won't go too much longer, buddy. We had a busy episode with lots of stuff. Thanks for jumping on, and we're gonna do this old school. We're gonna do this old school style. Everyone, head over to Bonzi Live right now and check him out on YouTube. And check him out on YouTube. And where else can they see it, Bonzi? Because you're not on. I think we run it on Twitter, don't we? On the Dean Blundell Network.
Yeah. You can find it on Twitter, YouTube. It doesn't run on Twitch anymore. Twitch went to Twitter, so you can find me on my YouTube channel, Tripping with Bonzi. On YouTube, the Dean Blundell Network, and then I'm on all the social media at Bonzi Live. Chris, I gotta thank you again for the logo, dude. It's amazing.
Problem,
then my manager had a friend animate it, and it's my new and I love it, dude. So thanks again for designing one of the coolest logos I've ever seen. I love it.
Thanks, pal. No, thank you so much, man. The best of luck to you, Bonzi. Wicked, man. Wicked.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Have a good show, buddy.
Yeah.
Have a good show, man.
Take care.
See you, man.
Cheers, my friend. All right, there we go.
That was a show, buddy. That was a show and a half. Huge thanks.
Around an hour here.
Huge thanks to Matt from Trivium for coming on board and showing us his studio and talking about the record and video game talk with you and horror movies and stuff. So huge thanks to them. Check out their brand new album as well. Out there as well. Make sure to check out
and
latest issue of Skeletron.
Offload Delay is wants to
Brad,
grab a coffee with. Yeah, that's Brad. Oh, that's Brad. Okay, cool. Yes,
that's
definitely,
Brad,
buddy. Yes,
Delay.
definitely. Yep.
Huge thanks to Ryan and Ashley from Sheeple Shepherd for coming on. Thanks for coming on. Yeah, no problem. Anytime. Brad, congrats on the show and thanks for coming on. And this is what we do here. It's family time on the show, and it's the Kids on the Escalator podcast. One more thank you to our friends at Blue Microphones. We'll get out of here.
Oh, geez. Wow. So Toronto lost that one, huh? Anyway.
So that's been the Kids on the Escalator podcast for a Monday night, and we got a big show next week. We're not going to let it out of the bag until later on in the week, but let's just say
today wasn't a big one, man. Like today wasn't a big one.
This was a big one, and next week's going to be a big one. I can just tell you this. It's going to involve wrestling. It's going to involve someone that was involved in wrestling in the 80s and 90s who played an integral role in wrestling.
Hulk Hogan.
It's not Hulk Hogan because we don't invite racist bastards on the show. So there you go.
Hulk Hogan.
That's the Kids on the Escalator podcast for a Monday night. Go check out Bonzi Live right now. We are live from the house of Machete Comics, everybody. Good times.
Rad dudes.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.